Yeah, what's up?
Do you want to watch something tonight?
Yeah, what do you have in mind?
I was hoping to watch The Shape of Water again.
The Fishbucking movie? What? That's a fish. Where are you going? Hun? Where are you going?
Let's talk about communication, specifically between person and cinema, and communicating about cinema. Films by nature are a conversation. See, the scenes is the information that the film gives you to digest and kind of form your opinion. You're supposed to discover what the information means to you. It's as if you're having an actual conversation with the person. Some films do require more of a conversation to fully digest and get everything from it. And others, just insist on beating you over the fucking head. Yes, I'm talking about you. Go away. Point being, watching films is not a passive activity. It requires a certain amount of effort and comprehension on the part of the viewer. As free-thinking people, it is perfectly within your will to check out in the middle of it or not even engage at all. My issue comes when the audience have made this decision to check out or not engage, but then still have a very strong opinion about the film in question. It's like when you're talking to a friend for advice and they don't even listen to your side before inserting their own philosophy on what you should do in this particular situation. Mostly this comes in the form of clever lines or zingers or snarky comments that have floated around in the zeitgeist and have now kind of become the conversation. I don't want to point fingers, but I think we could all blame the internet for this because the internet ruins everything. It'll take everything you hold dear and kill it before your eyes. Yeah, movies are entertainment, but I don't think entertainment should be without thought. We have conversations every day in a civilized manner, but for some reason, when it comes to films, snarky comments seem to rule above all other thought or critical thinking. How do we create meaningful conversations about art and film? Well, I think The Shape of Water is a perfect place to start. Well, I should have had a pun there. Shape of Water it's deep, it's blue, rocky. I'll have it. When I first hear about a film, there's a few things I want to know. And hopefully these things the trailer provides the answer to. Answers for which, might inform my decision on either going to see or adjust my excitement level for the said thing. And these things are who wrote it, who directed it, and what's the tone. Story and actors become almost non-factors. So when I saw a gorgeous fairy tale set in the 1960s, directed by Guillermo del Toro, I'm all in. I don't need to know anything else, and for the most part, I try to avoid anything else about the film, including what the creature even looked like. So The Shape of Water is the 10th full-length film in Guillermo del Toro's filmography, and from right there, one can sort of start to draw an expectation because the chances are you're familiar with maybe one or two of his projects. Now, I have happened to see all of his films because, well, I'm a fanatic. Okay, as you see here, I got my first Pacific Rim poster. That one's for the Jaegers. Then I got that's Kaiju poster. Over here, I got my framed Crimson Peak. That's yeah. Look up here. Kind of hard to tell because it's behind a bookshelf. It's Pan's Labyrinth. Right there. Gypsy Danger right here with a special edition 3D Blu-ray in the shape of Gypsy. If we go through here, there's that's Chronos. That's his first one, and oh, that's Devil's Backbone. That one's really good. Oh, we got Pan's Labyrinth right here. That one's super good. Where is it? Where is it? Move out of the way, Batman. Oh wait, 2's right there. Stupid ghost. I got we got a Hellboy steelbook. That's pretty cool, I guess. If you have seen his work, I find that his most powerful tool is his use of color. He comes from this kind of Italian expressionistic way of thinking where cinema isn't meant to mirror reality. In fact, it's supposed to capture emotions and complex feelings that we can't really articulate or illustrate on our own. He mostly flourishes in modern day fantasies. There's 2 films in his filmography that I feel The Shape of Water best sort of mirror and thematically mimic. No pun intended, I don't mean mimic, which I actually would consider to be kind of his dark horse of his filmography. Well, besides his 2 dark horse films. Where was I? Oh yeah, Devil's Backbone and Pan's Labyrinth. Devil's Backbone, which I think is probably my favorite Del Toro film, though, you know, that's like picking your favorite Taylor Swift song. I don't think they exist. She doesn't exist. Taylor Swift isn't real. Hashtag Taylor Swift isn't real. The Devil's Backbone follows a small orphan named Carlos as he's secluded to this orphanage kind of in the middle of nowhere. And he starts to discover there's a ghost kind of haunting the grounds. But over the course of the film, it turns out this ghost isn't trying to hurt the orphans, it's trying to warn them against the horrors of the place that they're living in. It's not an evil entity at all, but instead a object for their escape. And Pan's Labyrinth finds Ophelia escaping a Spanish war by going into this fantasy world. The brilliance of Guillermo del Toro is this subversion of this classical perception of monsters by seeing them through the eyes of our protagonists, which are without power. In the case of Devil's Backbone and Pan's Labyrinth, they both are children and literally do not have a position of power and therefore do not have a voice. In The Shape of Water, our character literally does not have a voice. And it's through these fantastical circumstances that they're able to imagine a better world, or maybe a scarier world, or a world of understanding that allows them to fantasize and enable them to escape the circumstances that they're in order to find something about themselves. For Eliza in The Shape of Water, it's about, you know, escaping this oppression and this marginalization that she feels from being a product of her time and just not having a voice in general. And sure, she fucks a fish, but it's not sex or some weird perversion. It's an escape of the loneliness and the isolation that she feels. It's an incredibly moving story, and I feel that it caused some to turn their noses up at it because it's like seeing a happy couple. Or it's like your friend bragging how they met someone who finally understands them, or you can't relate or comprehend that feeling of ecstasy that they have. And so reply with a snarky, artificial comment. This deep love and connection that Eliza has with Amphibian Man, I think perfectly mimics how Guillermo del Toro sees cinema. See, films is the only place that truly understands him. This communication, this level of discussion that he has with the screen allows him to create escapes and fantasies and somewhere to go and dream that is outside of whatever situation he happens to be in. And I think he's just trying to represent that with the characters. That if you're voiceless, if you're marginalized, if you feel alone, that somewhere out there you can look at a screen and for an hour and a half you can feel like someone understands you and someone is speaking directly towards you. And the great thing about cinema is you can then take that conversation, that excitement you felt about a film, you can display it with someone else, and then you two can connect, and then you two have either seen something through the same eyes and now you're connecting on a personal level, or you have different interpretations that can widen the perception you already have about it and maybe create a better understanding for yourself or empathy for other people. No interpretation is right and no interpretation is wrong. It's just about the fact that you have one and you can communicate it. And that's the conversations that need to be taking place. We shouldn't be applauding a snarky comment or applauding a nitpick. If you don't like something, that's fine. You don't have to be a part of the conversation. But don't insert yourself in the conversation just to hurt someone else's interpretation. Anyway, that's how I see it. Whatever, I'm probably wrong. Let's check the charts. Let's see how I'm doing. Yep, still wrong. I had to get that off my chest. So if you like it, then like it. If you don't like it, put your own interpretations about this video down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later, Toodles.